Have you ever looked up in the sky and wished that you could be friends with a cloud? Well, the makers of the new adventure game Clouzy sure hope your answer is yes, because their newest title sees you hanging out and helping a whole floating island full of friendly clouds. You'll cook for them, clean them up, and even take care of their medical needs, all while exploring the island and collecting orbs. It's cute, colorful, and full of cartoony characters, but who exactly is this game for? That's what I want to find out in this review of Clouzy. High above Earth's mightiest skyscrapers is a floating island where humans and sentient clouds coexist peacefully. You play the island's newest resident, a customizable character whose job is to explore the surroundings and run missions for their neighbors. What we quickly discover is that we're essentially running a cloud clinic. The locals will drop off their angry, sick, and nervous clouds, and it's up to you to not only solve their ailments, but also clean them up and give them a fresh meal. Once you've done all that, you'll return them to their humans, collect a nice reward, and then welcome in the next patient. Now, in order to help these clouds, you're going to need to get used to creating different kinds of foods using the cooker. Need to mellow out an angry cloud? Don't worry, there's a special kind of tea for that. However, in order to make that tea, you're going to need to gather up a bunch of ingredients found around the floating island. This is a majority of what you're going to be doing in Clouzy. Almost every mission will require you to hunt around the island for leaves, berries, mushrooms, bamboo sticks, and a whole host of other items, all of which you'll use to craft and cook new concoctions. As you can imagine, this constant hunt for ingredients helps you memorize where everything is. You'll quickly learn that the berries that you need for that calming tea are located near a giant windmill, while the mushrooms required for an especially spicy dish are always found in the caves. This search for the different types of ingredients will reveal more of the island, which in turn uncovers new parts of the story. Although it isn't clear at first, the ultimate goal of Clouzy is to retrieve all 4 of the orbs hidden away on the floating island. Of course, these orbs aren't just laying around and waiting for you to pick them up, as you'll need to figure out a way to access them. This is when the game switches into puzzle mode. These range from being ridiculously easy to downright frustrating, with one at the end requiring a whole lot of trial and error guesswork. No matter how annoying some of these puzzles can be, it's always worth the effort. Collecting the orbs will not only advance the story, but it'll also grant your companion cat a new ability. Wait, did I forget to mention the companion cat? No matter where you are on the island, there's always a floating cat by your side ready to help. At first it seems like the little guy is just along for the ride, but the cat will become invaluable as you collect orbs and power-ups. For example, your helper will allow our customizable character to jump higher and get to hard-to-reach areas. The cat can also glow, making it possible to explore the island's caves. What I like is that your helper just floats around on its own and stays out of trouble. When you need them to help, all you need to do is push that button and they'll come running. It's a lot more reliable than a real cat, and a lot less musical than that movie Cats. I would say that the exploring and adventuring is a lot more compelling than the cooking and the crafting. Even with a limited amount of ingredients, I found running a cloud clinic to be incredibly repetitive. There are times when the game will literally give you the exact same mission 2 or 3 times in a row. But even if they're not identical, most of the cloud missions are so similar that they might as well be worded the same too. I was always excited to see a mission that involved actual adventuring, even if that meant dealing with one of those trial and error puzzles. The problem is that the balance is all off. This game needs maybe 3 or 4 times more exploration and about half the missions where you clean and feed clouds. Look, when it comes right down to it, I'm honestly not even sure who this game is for. On one hand, it looks like it's aimed squarely at young children. I mean, it's bright and colorful and has adorable clouds and animals that you can pet. Yeah, this game makes absolutely no effort to explain what's going on or how to make things work. There's almost no hand-holding here, which you would expect from a game aimed at a younger audience. Hell, even as somebody who is clearly not a younger gamer, I needed clarifications on how some of these different mechanics worked. I mean, I kept messing up some of the more complicated cooks, and boy, it sure would have been nice to find out why I was failing. The game is constantly asking you to do things and hoping that you're just gonna stumble onto the right answer. Look, don't get me wrong, there's fun to be had exploring this island, but a lot of that fun is undermined by the small locations. There are only a few different looking parts of the floating island, including a desert region, a peaceful forest, and of course, the caves. Sure, there's some beautiful landmarks like the river and the Sky Palace, but there's just not enough to this island to keep you invested. It took me around 8 hours to beat Clouzy, and let me tell you, I was really bored of this tiny island long before the credits rolled. With the bright and colorful visuals and the cute characters, I could see kids liking this a whole lot more than I did. I don't know. Perhaps they won't be annoyed by the small world and repetitive missions. However, I suspect that everybody, no matter the age, will be frustrated by the puzzles, as well as the questionable mechanics and the game's poor communication skills. If you're the type of person who would rather take care of sick clouds than go on an epic adventure, then Clouzy is probably the game for you. Everybody else, though, need not apply. Part adventure game and part cloud clinic simulator, Clouzy is an unusual mix of ideas that mostly comes together to create a fun experience. Explore a floating island full of cartoony characters and secret areas, all while making sure that clouds are bathed, fed, and tended to. Unfortunately, the action quickly turns repetitive when you realize how small the island is and just how few ingredients there are to pick up. Couple that with confusing mechanics and a couple of poorly implemented puzzles, and you have a compelling setup that doesn't really go anywhere. Both kids and adults are bound to be disappointed by Clouzy. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new reviews and features almost every day. Now, here's the question I have for you. Would it be better or worse if dogs and cats could float? Seriously, it's a real question. I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this pressing topic. In other news, we'll be back later this week with a review of Phantom Breaker's Omnia, followed by a look back at what 1990s critics said about the Q classics. What exactly are the Q classics? Well, you just have to find out on Friday, I guess. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.